We are just roommates. I hear it so often for couples who come in for couples therapy. I ask them to describe their relationship and then they say it. There's no romance or deeper connection. We're just getting by. We are just roommates. Hi, I'm Chip. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And unfortunately, it can be so easy to go to a place of being roommates without any plan for how to overcome the stalemate. In the beginning, you started with attraction and pursuit. Date nights, gifts, flirty little texts. It's electric. She feels the thrill of being wanted and desired. He gets that delight of her response and openness to his pursuit. But then life happens. After a while, work pulls you in different directions with the ping of evening emails. Kids can be natural drains on your love life. They're exhausting and some days need constant attention. For moms, little hands on you all day long can make you feel already pretty saturated with being pawed at. And then, if your kids are teenagers, you're in for a whole other curveball. Some days they may be angels, but some days, whatever you do gets the response of a perpetual sneer. I remember watching one comedian, Jeff Allen, share that teenagers allow us to feel what God must feel like when we rebel against Him. He says, let's see how you like it to create someone in your own image who denies your very existence. This was true for Jess and Malcolm, a husband and wife who came to me for couples therapy. I'm changing the names. As they sat on my couch, Jess shared that yes, they are married, but they feel like the plutonic duo. No spark, no thrill, no chase. Just get up, go to work, rinse, repeat. Jess feels unwanted. Malcolm feels like he doesn't know what to do. So he keeps his head down and, he just kind of hopes for the best. Jess gets the message then that she is not worth pursuing like in the beginning. So she is shy to ask for his attention and pursuit, especially after having tried so many times and maybe it didn't go all that well. What I first want to know from them as they sit across from me on my couch is what does it look like when things don't go well? When dark clouds are on the horizon, do Jess and Malcolm get stuck in a cyclone they can't get out of without it spinning out of control? Or can they calm the storm by reaching out for one another? Are they able to repair? And you can watch some of my other videos on how to repair. Well, fast forward, and after several sessions, Jess and Malcolm have developed new skills, so they are able to reconnect after a disconnect. But we don't stop there. I also want to explore what habits they can build into their lives that are designed to foster that sense of connection. Because here's the dirty little secret the websites and brochures don't tell you about when you sign up for dating or dating sites. Relationships take work. Ugh, there I said it. And lots of it. They require a lot of self sacrificial love and repentance and empathy and regulating your own dysregulation. They require Jess and Malcolm to humbly say to one another, I feel really strongly about this, but I admit that I may not see the whole picture. Can you help me understand why this is so important to you? And you don't just do these things once. The path of a successful relationship also asks of you to repeat certain disciplines even when you don't feel like it. Michael Jordan, one of the most famous and successful professional basketball players of all time, had a practice routine that included conditioning, drills, intense workouts, and lots of repetition. He began each session with shooting baskets. The criteria was 5 basket shots, consecutive shots from every spot on the court. He spent another hour on dribbling, conditioning, and agility. His signature moves that he was so famous for, they didn't just happen. That's how we'd like to think it happens, but he rehearsed those again and again. Now, fortunately, you probably don't have to spend hours working on post ups or footwork. In fact, you could get a relationship boost with more like 20 minutes per day. So, let me ask you, would your relationship be worth that to you? With 168 hours in a week, would you be willing to spend 2.5 of those hours per week out of those 168 hours having a better relationship experience? Here are some things you can do to improve your sense of connection with your person. One, Saturday morning coffee date. Spend an hour on Saturday mornings to check in with one another. You'll probably talk about work and needs around the house and the kids, but don't leave out talking about other things. Here's some things you can ask one another. What is something that is heavy on your mind right now? This gives you both the chance to share what troubles you and provides a chance for vulnerable sharing. It could be a bonding event that brings you both closer together. What are your hopes and dreams? Would you like to travel, write a book, lead a study, open up our home to neighborhood get togethers? These are the things that excite you. This is the fun stuff of life. And it is great if you can pair the feeling of fun with your special person. How can I be praying for you? Or if you don't pray, how can I be cheering you on? This allows the person to invite you into their land of the not yet. They may be looking forward to what is ahead and feeling a bit of fear or a bit of hope. Maybe you can be that source of encouragement to help them nudge some of those fears into hopes about tomorrow. And here's the Mac Daddy move. Am I allowed to say Mac Daddy? I recognize my name is Chip and it's a very 90s thing. I'm saying it. Here's the Mac Daddy move. Put it on your calendar to check in with them about it later. You can say, I've been praying for you about that big meeting you have coming up. I'll be praying for you about it tomorrow, too. This is a way to score huge points with your person. A second thing you can do to improve your sense of connection, non agenda touch. So, this is giving your person a hug, a touch, a back rub, whatever. And this is without any expectations of it progressing to something else, at least not right then. If it helps you to think of it as foreplay, think of it as investing in your person's emotional account that can pay dividends later on. Touch tends to be a powerful mood stabilizer and an encourager. Touch has been directly linked to feelings of togetherness and well being. It even can help reduce feelings of distress among connected couples. A third thing you can do is a little unusual. Create something that is special to the both of you. Inside jokes, special date locations, menu items that are all your own. Maybe you have them customize it for you behind the where the chef does the stuff and you want the not this salad dressing but that and it's your own thing. Great. Build traditions that make it special for you as a couple and as for your family. Maybe your tradition is that whoever gets home second calls out, I'm home. So you walk in, you realize the other person's car is in the garage or in the driveway. You open the door and you call out, I'm home. And so the rule is whoever was already at home stops what they're doing. They set aside their phone or the device or whatever. They get up off the couch or their chair and they come over and give the second person home a hug. And not just a 2.5 second hug. We're talking a good 10 seconds. And then you look into each other's eyes. It might feel awkward at first, but let me tell you, this can pay huge dividends in a sense of connection. One family tried this, and then after a while, the kids wanted to get in on the action. Dad was usually the second one to walk through the garage door, so it became a group hug moment that became one of the family's favorite memories. Some of the kids would even recount that later on to say, oh man, when we came together for that group hug, I looked forward to that moment. Another person I know, her family each Thanksgiving, get this, this is a little weird, but go with me. Each Thanksgiving would get out the turkey, it's raw, not cooked, and before baking it in the oven, they would, I feel silly bringing this up, but I'm going to say it. They would parade it through the house, forming a turkey conga line. So, like, mom or dad or somebody would grab the turkey by the legs, and I mean, salmonella, I wouldn't recommend this, but this was their thing. I'm just saying it. And they would have it like dance through the air around the house, and everybody would follow the turkey around. It is so strange, but let me tell you, none of the kids ever forgot this. These kinds of special things pronounce that this is something that we do because we're together, we're a team, we're a family. This is our thing. You don't drift into closeness, you build it. Every relationship that stands the test of time has one thing in common: two people who keep showing up. They show up when they're tired, when they don't feel the spark, when life feels ordinary, because let me tell you, these things will come and they'll come again and again. Instead, these two, they choose connection over convenience. They choose curiosity over criticism. They choose humility over pride. When I hear just roommates, there is this discouragement, a kind of sentiment that says, well, I guess this is life in this relationship now. But as a counselor, I would love to shift that thinking that this is more of a signal worth listening to, that something important needs your attention. I also don't want them to get overwhelmed. You don't need to overhaul your whole marriage overnight. You start small. You take 20 minutes a day to turn toward each other, to listen, to laugh, to pray, to touch, to remember that this person across from you isn't your roommate, they're your partner, your teammate, your beloved. Here's one thing you can do today: ask your special person, what is something I can do to help you feel more loved and connected in our relationship? Learn why that's important to them. It may be the small things that bubble up in the conversation. Relationships aren't usually kept alive by grand gestures, but by the small, consistent ones: the coffee dates, the inside jokes, the hugs that last long enough to remind you you're not alone in this. Look for those small moments of connection. Here's my hope for you: that you can experience life as co adventurers again, like you were at the start. But this time, it's more than the thrill of the new and the butterflies about the what ifs, but something deeper that says you're important to one another, both for today and the tomorrows that are to come. Until next time, I'm rooting for you.